Well, okay. Whenever we're ready. Episode 30. Episode 30. Episode 30 of How to Ski It. Oh, man, what a season it has been for some of us.
Quite a season.
We got Dylan back. Dylan's walking again. He's still wearing a brace, but no crutches.
Yeah, maybe don't tell my PT that, but...
Oh, sorry.
I'm close enough.
Insurance fraud.
I bet your PT doesn't listen.
You never know.
You never know.
I was surprised when somebody told me they listened the other day and embarrassed. So,
So welcome back to the pod.
yeah, Dylan, tell us a little bit. You're back, not skiing. Well, maybe.
I'm back. I think last time I was here, it was after injury, but before surgery. So I had surgery about 6 weeks ago, and yeah, it sucks. It's like about as lame of a surgery as people say. It's going to be about a year. But yeah, I'm walking. It's slow. My leg is very weak, but I'm getting around and progressing.
And now you got hit by an 18-wheeler, right?
Yeah, and you should see the 18-wheeler.
No, in case you missed it, it was a ski-related injury, the classic ACL injury.
It was a Volkswagen-sized bump.
I wish. It was just like slough on the side.
It was a dark spot on
It was a
the
dark
run.
spot. Yeah, it happened fast, man. It happened fast.
What have you learned, though? I know it's been tough. I know it's been tough professionally. It's been tough personally. Your lovely wife, Kate, has to drive you everywhere. You're a pretty independent guy. But, like, what have you learned from all this?
I think like a lot of things, I try to find a silver lining in it. And for me, the silver lining in this is I need to be better with strength training, probably. And I've never liked it. I've never been good at it. So I'm definitely looking forward to learning how to take better care of my body in strength training. And yeah, so that's the boring one. Maybe the more special answer would be people got your back. And it's like you said, my wife Kate has totally turned her life upside down to take me to and from work and get me food and, in the beginning help me wash myself. So yeah, kudos to her for sure.
Food is good.
Food is good.
It is.
So is bathing.
So is bathing.
Surprisingly important.
And it's been hard for us here because we all work together, and not because he's been injured, because we have to like slip out of the office and we have to like ski under the color of darkness. And just so it's
hey,
just like,
Dylan, we're going to step outside for a bit.
Yeah. Monday morning, you're like, it was awful, dude. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, and it has been, I think we talked about it on Mel Loves Big Dumps. It has been the best ski season I can ever, see, this is what I mean. That's what I was talking about. The best season I can remember. So we haven't done as much skiing as I wish we could be here bragging about. A couple days at Eldora, but me and Marcus and a couple people from the Ironman group and Mel went skiing at Copper Mountain last Friday, and they probably don't dial up better conditions than that ever.
It was amazing.
The snow was firm,
Yep.
but grippy.
Yep.
But it was in the 30s, and we had an amazing lunch. We've talked about the Aria or whatever it's called at the Midway.
The Midway is called the Airy, and the restaurant on top of the Airy is Forge and Feast.
And it's incredible.
And it's incredible.
And what we really were surprised by is we went there with more than the number of people you should ever go out. Most people you should ever go out to eat with is like 6. And we went with 9. And they aced it.
Yeah.
They aced it. I'll be honest, I've never had somebody serve a party of 9 so efficiently.
Yeah, it was incredibly like quick service, but like efficient. I don't feel like we ever lacked for anything that we needed. Stuff came out fast, but like drink orders kept coming back around and everything.
And just a giant group of idiots.
Yeah.
Like one person didn't order food and then was like, I didn't know we were ordering food. And you can imagine,
No.
Tim Brooks, you can imagine somebody taking 8 orders and then somebody saying, I didn't know we were ordering food. But then we were like, hey, he didn't order. And he's like, I want this. And it was there in 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, he ordered chili, but like the fact that it was like, hey, take care of this quick. Like,
Short rib chili. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't just chili.
sorry.
Yeah, but
he
I mean-
ordered something that's pre-prepped. But the fact that they just like, it was like
Prioritized it.
they walked in, grabbed it, and walked back
Did your
out.
server write down the orders, or did they memorize it?
She
I
had
think
a
it was
little
a digital.
handheld.
Yeah.
I was gonna, because no, I mean that would be impressive.
I have one
Yeah.
complaint. Like, we were a party of 9 and she's like, I can't split checks. Like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. How to ski? It's making a lot of money these days. So,
Yeah.
so we'll pick up the tab. But I thought that was weird because
Yeah.
you know nothing's cheap, and it wasn't. But we probably would have had 9 checks if she let us.
Yeah.
8.
I did. Yeah.
Was it otherwise pretty busy, like with other
Mobbed.
people? Yeah.
But it turned out this is what was weird because we had 9 people. They only had one place to seat 9 people, and they weren't going to seat 4 people there. So they were kind of saving it for a group of 10 or more, and then they
Yeah.
gave it to us.
Yeah.
And we had our own TV and a fireplace, and we sat in sofas.
Yeah. It was awesome.
And then it was sunburn weather.
Dude, I went with y'all to Copper. The next day went to A Basin. It was also on fire. It was so good. And I got so sunburned, my face is still peeling.
Yeah,
Like, it's bad.
you were red on Monday or Sunday. Or,
Yeah.
No, you were red on Saturday. That
I was
like,
red. Yeah.
I'll give Marcus credit. We skied Friday. We worked Saturday morning. He skied Saturday.
Yeah.
And so, but that's how you do it. I mean,
was
again,
good.
we've said time and time again, if you want to, and it's not about getting good at skiing. If you want to get the most out of skiing,
Yeah.
you got to make it a priority and set expectations.
With that in mind, how many days?
I'm at 30. Even.
Damn. All
and that's
right.
not for somebody who always wants to get 50. I'll be lucky to get to 35 this year.
Yeah. Ryan?
I have no idea. I can look it up.
Coward.
I think it's, I know. I honestly, I would guess like 12.
Ryan's on ski strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan?
I think I maxed out at 8, if I remember right.
All right. That's, I
Paid for
mean,
your
considering
pass.
how early you went down.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
blew your knee out in January. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I have 18 so far.
Nice. And that's for
Yeah.
you.
That's
and I
the
don't mean
most
that in a
I've
bad
had.
way when people say,
Yeah.
for you, that's good.
Yeah.
But that is good.
It is. I'm excited. That's the most I've ever
There's
skied in a
52
year.
weekends in
So.
a year. So, however way you look at it, I look at 30 is close to 10%. If I can get to like 35, that's 10% of the days of the year I was skiing, which isn't great, but it was good. I have a full-time job too. like
Yeah.
doing this podcast,
Totally.
Making all this money.
making all this money.
Did you figure out your number?
9.
Oh.
It's not too late.
No, I know.
And we,
No, it's funny because he was like, it's like 12.
Yeah,
But
thank God it
he's
wasn't like-
one above Dylan.
we should have went today because
Yeah.
it's Friday afternoon, but we decided we hadn't done the pod in a little while. So back to Copper Mountain really quick,
Yeah.
and I'm going to talk about me and Vail. No. At Copper Mountain, something that does not happen, and this is going to sound arrogant, but I don't fall that often.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think I don't ski as aggressively as I used to, but I skied over my pole, which crossed my skis, and I hit the ground as hard as I've ever hit the ground skiing. Knocked myself, not out, but silly.
Yeah.
Like I got up and Marcus handed me my ski and I tried to put it on backwards.
Yeah.
And,
It was bad.
And then I was worried that you guys are going to like make me sit out. So I was like, I'm fine.
You're like, let's go do Upper Enchanted.
But then I was hurt for a solid week. Like I'm surprised I didn't dislocate my shoulder because I didn't get, like a lot of times you brace or you get yourself
Yeah.
in position, but this happened so fast. But why I brought this up is I just wanted to talk about the importance of a good helmet. Like my side of my head broke my fall. Like technically I probably should replace my helmet. It was a burn, BERN, and all helmets meet standards in the United States. So that's why you probably don't want to buy one off Temu or something like that. But all helmets meet standards in the United States. So there isn't brands that blow other brands away. Are there better helmets than not? Yes. I've had a luck with burn over the years, but I bet if I didn't wear that helmet, I don't think I would have died or anything, but I might have had a head injury
Yeah.
because I hit my head so hard. And everybody that was there was like, "Oh my gosh,"
Yeah.
because it was violent.
It was one of those where it was like a whip. You just like stopped moving and your top just whack immediately.
It was like a whip, and my forehead to my ear hole were the tip of the whip.
Yes.
Dude, I
Yep.
had that happen once.
It
I was,
made contact.
I was just side sliding down a hill on the East Coast, and I was looking uphill for my brothers who were coming down behind me, and I hit this patch of snow and literally went from 90 degrees vertical to parallel to the ground, with only breaking it with my head.
So it's like snowboarding.
Dude, it was
Yeah.
just, and I wasn't. The worst part was I was looking uphill, so I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
And it was just like it was instant, and all of it went to my head, and I was like, "Thank God I had a helmet on." I did like 2 more runs and went to the car. I was like, "You guys finished, but I'm not." It's scary.
Yeah, and it's hard to recover because we kept skiing,
Yeah.
which was a terrible idea. And then we went and did advanced skiing. And I can tell you from experience, like Upper Enchanted Forest is still not skiing very
It
well.
was still bad.
but
And then
Is it still
17
like kind of
glades.
brown because you're getting all the way down to rock and
Oh
dirt?
yeah, there was still dirt.
it wasn't much better than it was in December. I
Yeah.
was surprised. And the conditions were excellent, but that was not because not enough people had skied it. So there was like 4 to 6 inches of powder that had baked in the sun all day, and then now it was in the shade. So it was rough, and then I was probably lightly concussed, but everything worked out.
Yeah.
And then we went and skied 17 Glade, which was also, if you look on a Copper Mountain map, it's actually a named run, and it's remarkable. It's
Yeah,
advanced,
it's really good.
complicated.
It gets so tight.
It gets tight at the bottom, but that was, to me, yeah, that was one of the best days of the year because of the blue skies and a lot of things we've talked about on the show before. We've always said drain pipe is always good because of how high it is in elevation. And sure enough, on a sun-baked spring day, drain pipe was still like crystalline snow
Yeah, it was amazing.
because it's at 11,000 some hundred feet. But skiing's been good.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we had another avalanche death on Berthoud Pass, which is
When did that happen? I didn't see that one.
2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
And it's such a popular place because you can drive your car, park your car, and ski backcountry.
Yeah.
And in this case, it looked like they had hiked up to ski, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
And you can do car shuttles, and there's all these things that I think are great about skiing. But Berthoud, huge snow load this year. We just look at the Winter Park ski report that's like 6 miles away. And unfortunate things happen, and it's not the first one this year. And then we, the day that I talked about on our last episode at Vail, where it snowed at least 12 inches during the day, somebody got lost. Obviously, they just found him like a week ago, so not a good there that he didn't make it. And they don't really know what happens, but it was snowing so hard that the simplest thing could have happened, but he ended up under a foot of snow. So I'm sure they'll come back with that one, but be safe out there.
Yeah.
You know, between hitting your head, which happens to everybody, and avalanches, backcountry, you know, go prepared, shovels, probes, helmets everywhere.
Yep.
And then, you know, whatever happened at Vail, just bad luck. It's probably what it sounds like because it was more on the intermediate side of the area.
Yeah.
So, and they don't have a lot of details, but we mentioned it in our last podcast, and we were rooting for the fact that he was fed up with life and went to Utah, which would have been a better
Yeah.
and a good place to go if you're fed up. is to Utah. So shifting gears, we said, don't panic that Alterra's buying Arapahoe Basin because nothing's going to change. And well, we were right. It's unlimited skiing next year for the Icon Pass.
Looks like I'm back on
Yeah.
Icon Pass next year. Tell you that much.
So that's probably not good for Arapahoe Basin. I mean, I don't know. You know, one of the things about Arapahoe Basin, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's a lot of advanced skiing. Yes, it has some intermediate skiing.
It has very little. It has very little beginner skiing.
Yes. And then it has a lot of vast intermediate skiing, but not like a lot of different places to go on the mountain or something like that. But the majority of what makes Arapahoe Basin great is blacks and double blacks, and then the old double black EX thing that
Yeah.
everybody's so into these days. But
That whole mountain's intermediate, dude.
A Basin. So Alterra bought it. Now it's ruined. I was wrong.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, well, yeah, we'll see.
I-
We'll see
I-
if it's mobbed next year.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Yeah.
I think if it's on the Icon Pass.
I mean,
but
it being
I
unlimited.
think people will want to spread out.
let's look at the good side of things. That maybe some people that are skiing at Copper Mountain and Eldora and Winter Park will now go to A Basin. Now, if you already had an Icon Pass, at least the Mac Daddy one, you already got 5 or 7 days or something.
Yeah.
So,
Which I've never used all of them.
I haven't used any this year. Although this is the time of year that you start trying to go to Arapahoe Basin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
true.
always been spring skiing. I'm curious if they have any plans to fix their parking because I remember it was 2 years ago. I went up there on a nice warm spring day, and I had to go back down to Silverthorne because I got up there at like 10:30, and I went back up at like noon 30, and then there was parking, but there wasn't a single park. Like they were turning
Wow.
people around.
Weekends and holidays is paid now.
Well, how was it for you? You left Denver at like 9:30.
Yeah, I left Denver. I think it was 8:30. We wrapped up.
Oh, we went fast.
We went fast. So it took me an hour and a half to drive. Dry roads. It was awesome, and I parked in the like upper lot.
Mhm.
But you can still walk to the.
And did it cost
Mountain.
money in the upper lot?
Yeah, I had to pay $20.
Ooh,
Shoo!
for the upper lot?
For just the privilege of parking.
My God, that's
Easily.
sacrilegious.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
I'm not against. I mean, I am against paid parking, but I get that they have to do that. But that's one ski area
Yeah.
I've never paid to park.
Yeah.
I don't go there much anymore. I love it.
At the moment, it's still not paid during the weekdays, but it's weekends and holidays.
And you know what? I went out to dinner with my cousin, and she'd skied Winter Park on Tuesday or Wednesday, and they were like, and I get this, like everybody says skiing's ruined. It's only ruined if you have to ski on weekends,
Yeah.
and if you have any opportunity to ski on weekdays, skiing's still great.
Skiing's awesome.
Even the Friday at Copper Mountain was completely busy. The Alpine lot, I think it's called, was flooded, so they didn't fill
Yeah.
it up with cars. So we had to park across the highway, which was a massive ordeal.
Flooded like
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, you know how you
Yeah.
told me when you were up there they didn't have it open. I think it's flooded. Like it was frozen, so it wasn't water, but I think it was going to turn to water by the end of the day.
Because they had it shut. Like they were putting people in the left, the far east lot, the East Alpine lot. And then on our bus ride in, they had started parking people down there. By the time we got to the top of the Alpine chair, it was full,
Okay,
which was weird.
That's
And
annoying.
I get the flooding thing. It gets
Yeah.
muddy.
and maybe they did, but it looked to me like it was probably flooded, and once that water melted, it was going to be
a mess.
a big mess. But
Yeah.
who knows? But all in all, as frustrating as it was to go back to Copper Mountain, to have to wait in line to get on the shuttle, to ride on a shuttle that made the DIA trains look uncrowded. All in all, it worked out great. And I showed Marcus my favorite trick skiing with your spouse is just go do like 2 more runs than she does and
Oh,
ask her to pick
yes.
you up at the chairlift.
Oh, yeah, we're
good
going to
one.
keep going. Just text me when you're back at the car.
And so that's a little scam that my wife is fully aware of. But it gets us on the road earlier,
Yeah,
and then you take your
it's
boots
great.
off on the drive home.
You know what? As a beneficiary of this endeavor, I support it.
So good stuff. And then new ski passes are coming out. Well, not new ones, but renewals.
Yeah, they announced the pass prices for next year, next season.
And before you go into it, because it's very similar to last year, but I would like to know, why is the Icon Pass so much more expensive than the Epic Pass? Like what
That's a good question.
what do they give you? So let's just say you live in the Denver metro area. What do you get with the Epic Pass that's worth $400 more that you don't get? You get with the Icon Pass.
Yeah.
For $400 additional that you don't get with the Epic Pass. And I get it's different ski areas,
Right.
but you could just, Keystone, that's a fair match for Copper. Breckenridge, that's a fair match for wherever. Vale, it's kind of, it seems like it's a very similar product, but the price point is way different.
Well, so I've got a question for you guys based on because I'm just not as familiar because I've never had the Epic Pass. Breckenridge, I know, is like 30 minutes from Copper on the Denver side. And that's just because you got to drive around the mountain.
Yeah, not
Keystone,
30 minutes closer. I wouldn't say.
It's about the same distance.
drive.
Yeah.
Keystone, how far our drive?
It's like 10 more minutes in Arapahoe Basin, so pretty close. If the pass is open
Yeah.
and dry roads,
Mm-hmm.
Keystone's 10 more minutes from Arapahoe Basin.
Okay. Vail is 2 hours.
Yeah, Vail's probably the outer limits of doable.
Where's Crested Butte and Beaver Creek roughly?
So Beaver Creek's just further than Vail, like another 15, 20 minutes from Vail on I-70. But Crested Butte's a solid 4 hours from Denver.
Okay.
Way different way. You don't even get on
It's a
I-70.
weekend trip from Denver.
All I could think of was if Icon was valuing how much closer they are.
Yeah, because of Eldora and Winter Park
Yeah.
are the two closest of the ski areas. And then probably the third closest of all of their would be Arapahoe Basin.
Yeah.
I also think we need to look outside of Colorado. How many East Coast mountains are on the
True.
Icon? How many?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. I know Epic
I've
bought
got
a bunch of them.
here. Let me
but-
pull up the Epic.
And then
site.
it's
I've
also
got-
the access to overseas, which. But I think if you're talking North America,
And,
I would
and
like to
Ryan,
look
you
at
bring
that.
up a good point. Like, and that's probably one of the negatives of How to Ski It podcast is we just consider Colorado the center of the universe. And so I guess, you know, and I don't know how California breaks down between Epic and Icon, but I'm guessing there's as many or if not more skier visit days in California as there is in Colorado. So we probably are just narrowly looking at it. How can these be different? But, you know, and I've talked about Vail, how great it is. And then, you know, Whistler's on the Epic Pass, and not that we made it up to Whistler this year. And I think I can't remember which one. I thought Sun Valley was on the Epic Pass. So some of the big dogs are on the Epic. On the Icon, you got Teton,
Jackson.
and, you know, so it's, I don't know, $400 though. Neither one of them is that big of a difference. You know what the deal maker and deal breaker is for why I choose Icon over Epic?
Eldora.
Eldora and Aspen.
I
Yeah.
wonder. Here's an idea: is they should regionalize season passes, so you could buy an Icon Colorado pass,
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I would
and
totally
then so
do
you
that.
just get the Icon Pass mountains in Colorado. Nothing.
I would
else,
say that's what it used to be like.
Here's why they're never going to do that.
because we'll still buy the $1,500 pass.
Well, no, we won't. Like, if all of a sudden I can save if all it saved me was $100,
Yeah.
the number of times I've skied out of state in the last 20 years, I go to Jackson every couple years.
yeah.
And I go to Montana every few years. In Montana, we go to Whitefish, which is not part of anybody's package. So you got to buy lift tickets anyway. So if they even knocked $100 off, I would just stay and get the Colorado pass, is why they'll never do that,
Yeah, I agree.
because they know we're suckers, which it is what it is. So anyway, passes are on sale. Marcus, how much?
Yeah, so we've got the Epic Pass is 1,051 for the main pass.
Daddy.
And then they have one called the Epic Local Pass, which is 783, which just has fewer resorts. Like it doesn't include, it has 10 days you can have at Vail, but not unlimited, whereas the main pass has unlimited. And obviously there's other different.
And then I think the biggest
Resorts.
thing, if you're taking bad advice from us about ski passes, is, and something I learned this year more than ever, is the blackout days at Vail are the best days to ski Vail.
Ah,
The
yeah.
best days to ski anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, because they're
Well, not maybe not.
they're busy. They're busy for
take
more
that
than
back.
just that they're holidays. They're holidays that land during good snow months.
Yeah.
And so we skied, as we talked about, President's Weekend at Vail, uncrowded, but that was because of
Yeah.
road closures. But we also skied Christmas and New Year's at Vail, and it was under the blackout dates, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And Vail just came out, if you didn't see, that they said like 10 minutes was like, they didn't say it was like the longest you could wait, but it was like the average longest.
Yeah.
So, and they said it was usually like their average lift time was 3 to 4 minutes. And I'll be honest, from skiing Vail, I think 8 times this year, I didn't wait 3 to 4 minutes, but a couple times.
Nice.
So I think people like to take photos
Yeah.
of blown up lift lines. And if you ever ski the back bowls and like 3 people get injured at once, it takes them like 10 minutes to cycle somebody up the chairlift in a stretcher. And
Yeah.
if those 3 happen at once, you're going to have lift lines that are, a quarter mile long for a while. But anyway,
So Icon Pass, unlimited pass is 1051, local pass 783. For the Icon Pass, unlimited pass is 1329, base pass 909.
that's a lot of bread.
Yeah.
And-
Here's another interesting thing. The Icon Pass offers 2, 3, or 4 day Icon Pass that you can get to do, if you're just going to ski a few times, but you don't know which resorts. But Epic offers 1 all the way through 7 day
Nice.
pass, which is pretty cool.
How much is a 7-day pass though?
It's loading. It is 694.
Yeah, see, you're $300 away from a season pass. And I think we talked about this, that the reason these ski areas went into these, well, first of all, there was corporate consolidation to buy up all the ski areas from basically 2 companies.
Yeah.
And then for them, they know what their P&L is going to look like before the season starts by how many ski passes they sold.
Yeah.
Where it used to be, let's see how good the snow is. Let's see how many people show up on Saturday. And now that isn't a big factor anymore because, just like you said, you can get 7 days at Epic. So let's just call it Vail.
Yep.
You can get 7 days at Vail for $600. Like a 1-day lift ticket's like $290.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
You would be dumb not to.
yeah, I'm curious how many 1-day lift tickets they sell.
Yeah, that's a good question.
We did go skiing with a friend of ours at Copper Mountain, and she had to buy a 1-day lift ticket, and then we used our buddy pass,
Yeah.
which comes with our Icon pass, and it got it to like 160, which I thought was, it sounds like a lot when you own a ski pass, but
Yeah.
if you're coming from out east and you don't ski that often, I think that's probably not terrible.
That happened with one of the people we went with to A Basin as well. She had a Epic pass, and so bought the buddy pass for.
And how
A
much
Basin.
was that? Do you remember?
I don't.
Yeah. Anyway, we could complain all day about prices, but you got to just decide what you're going to do with your money in life. And
It's true.
I've chose skiing and stuff like that, but some people can, some people can't. It's something you have to commit to
Yeah.
and start now. Like, what the prices are now, and it's a lot of money. Nobody's going to say it's not, but an Epic pass is less than $100 a month.
And you can get, you can get $0 down, 0% APR. So for the Epic with Flex Pay.
And so I've done Flex Pay every year because, and now this is important. If you can get true 0%,
Yep.
and that's usually a marketing scam, and then there's fees and there's stuff. The Flex Pay at the Epic Pass is a true thing, and I've done it 2 years in a row, and they hit me like 3 months in a row. Maybe that's because I always buy it in September, but I get hit like 3 months in a row for $330. I get a text message that says we're going to hit you up tomorrow, and then they hit my debit card, and then it's good. I got to be honest, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Icon also has their thing again, which I think they do it through Affirm. Yeah, they do it through Affirm, which I ended up doing that last year. Oh, and they have a 0% APR if you do it over 6 months again. Theirs isn't
that
on
new?
sale yet.
I thought they did
at
not.
least had it last year
Oh, okay.
because we had looked at it, but then I held off too long, and so I had to pay full.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Icon Pass financing through Affirm gets worse as the year goes on. If
It
I'm
does.
not mistaken.
Yes.
And then the Epic Pass one, I don't think it gets worse because I, again, got 0% financing in like September. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to try to
Yeah.
do both my passes on 0% now and just spread out that, for 2 passes, it comes up to $200 a month. And now we're talking about a lot of money, but skiing's important. And I think this year was more important year ever to have both passes for me because Vail started getting snow long before anybody else.
I'm actually looking at these passes and stuff. I'm like, maybe I'll get like a 4-day Epic Pass or something. And I'll look at Vail and see what their 4-day is because I would like to ski Vail.
Yeah, it's for adults.
Yeah. Honestly, though, like talking about the length of runs, doing an adult skiing run that's miles sounds awesome. Just like go to the top of the mountain and just have fun getting down. It's just a pleasant experience all the way down. Sounds pretty awesome.
Adult skiing is two things. It's long runs and it's wide open runs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have as much to do with how challenging it is, because there can be like challenging adult skiing, but wide open, long runs, top to bottom, stuff like that. So anyway, it does feel like the season is starting to draw to a close. If you didn't know this, snowpack starts to decline in mid-February, and then how fast it declines depends on obviously storms and weather. But it doesn't just feel like ski season's wrapping up. Ski season is wrapping up. And I believe that winter or Copper Mountain this year is going to be open into May.
Whoa.
And that's unusual.
Interesting.
They have a lot of snow.
They have a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And I saw last night they got 6-8 inches. I saw Aspen got 10 inches last night. So still real snow in the forecast this weekend. And so plans to head up Sunday, hopefully, Winter Park or Eldora. Like anytime you're going to go up on a weekend, your number one priority needs to be avoiding the traffic.
Yeah. Get up early.
And I-70, have you noticed the upgrades? Of course you haven't, because there are none.
I did see
they're doing
Vail
more
is-
construction, which makes it
Worse.
Yeah.
And then when they're done, it'll feel better
Maybe.
because it's been going on for years.
But the place they're doing the construction, like Floyd Hill, I never go that way. I always go go up Clear Creek Canyon or Coal Creek Canyon. Which one is that? Clear Creek.
Clear Creek. Yeah.
Yeah, I always go up Clear Creek Canyon.
I have seen several times now, Vail is trying to pressure the governor into increasing the fines and penalties for truckers who don't have chains or don't chain up. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
And we talked about that on the last episode, and
Yeah.
it's just hopeless because they don't really enforce that stuff, and it turns into a mess. Although when the roads are dry, it's a non-issue.
Right.
So everybody forgets about it. And if you have a dry Saturday and Sunday and a snowy Monday through Friday, it's a non-issue because there's not enough volume on the roads on weekdays.
Yeah.
Except Fridays have definitely turned into the new Saturdays.
yeah.
Yep. And Saturdays have become awful.
Awful. And Sundays are a little bit better.
Yeah.
And why is that? Is that because people go to church or they just want to get ready for work the next day?
I think it's work
Yeah, I agree.
would be my assumption.
Also, if you're going up for the weekend, it's like go up Friday night or Friday, ski all day Saturday, pack up and go home Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Weekend, like if that's, I would try and ski in the morning, but
Friday has more opportunity for more people.
Mhm.
Therefore, it's more busy.
yeah. And also, I think the status of a work week in Colorado has changed over the last few years, where Fridays are kind of fun days.
Yeah.
Not just for us, but I feel like in general.
Yeah.
There's
Totally.
been a lack of traffic and stuff. I noticed on 36 on Fridays.
Which is nice.
Yeah, no, totally. I like it, but I think that there's a shift in people's work weeks. So I
Yeah.
think that's why Friday's getting busier. But
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic definitely changed things, and I feel like they're changing back. I don't like it, but you hear corporations making people no more remote work and stuff like that,
Mhm.
which remote work is ski on Friday.
for sure.
Right.
I
Exactly.
mean, if you own a business and you wonder what your employees are doing on Friday in Colorado,
FaceTime them.
they're skiing. Yeah. Tell them that. Do you mind just turning your camera on for a second? Because I hear that wind noise, and watch how they're like, blah, 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 USB malfunction. All right. Well, I think that wraps up episode 30, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not over yet.
Nope. I
Oh.
plan to ski more.
You know what it is time is if you are aching for skis, boots, poles, pass,
Yeah.
gloves, all the things that you have to remember to take skiing. This is the time of year.
End of year
Yep.
sale.
Yeah, because it's the end of year sale and the skier visits. So we have spring break right now.
Yep.
So skier visits are strong, but in 2 weeks, skier visits are going to drop off a cliff, and that includes Saturdays and Sundays. And there's still going to be some good days yet. So don't don't hang up the skis. There's still going to be powder days. It might be cold, so there might be light powder days where the snow's light, but usually it's heavy this time of year. But the ski shops are going to take the 2024, 2025 skis and they're going to mark them down 40, 50%, which is going to just put them about 20, 25% more than they're worth.
which is almost the sweet spot.
And on the other side, it's time to go get your bike tuned up.
Yeah.
Or like this is the last couple of weeks to buy a bike if you're looking for a bike.
Yes. You know what? That's a good point. Like literally the exact opposite is that bikes, the 2023, 24 bikes are on sale and they're not going to be for long. Because last weekend I rode my bike outside on dirt in the mountains. It was incredible, but
tune-ups are on sale. All that stuff's on sale right now, but it won't be for long.
not for long. So
You get into April and
All right. So we've started trying to end the podcast having a little piece of advice for people getting into skiing. So let's say we have somebody getting into skiing. I think that you kind of have to assume they already have everything to go skiing. What's the thing to prioritize upgrading? Like if everything's about equal and they're looking to get some better equipment, but can probably only do one thing a year, what's the first thing? Skis, boots, poles, pass, gloves.
boots.
Okay.
And I think,
Does anyone disagree with that?
Marcus,
Okay.
I think you're the perfect example. So it might not be for everybody, but Marcus got good enough this year that he realized his boots suck.
Yeah.
Like we always knew your boots suck.
Right, but I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And
we weren't
because
going to tell you your boots suck.
and nor were we going to tell you, but we also knew that you probably weren't, and this is going to sound like an insult, but you weren't a good enough skier that it mattered.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you're a good enough skier that it matters, and you need better performance from your boots. And then all of a sudden you're like, these boots suck. And so I heard you say that a couple times this year. So if you don't feel like there's any issue with your boots, then maybe I'm not talking to you.
Right.
But for most people, I feel like more people than not don't like their boots. They don't fit right. My toes get cold. My shins hurt. I mean, I saw somebody, I can't remember who we were skiing with, stuffing napkins down their shin.
Oof.
And I remember back to the day I used to do that in a pair of boots that I pawned off on Matt Damola.
Was he the one stuffing the napkins?
It might have been. No, I think if it was him, I would have been like, oh man, sorry. But man, you can ski on the wrong skis. You can ski without gloves. You can ski without poles. You can ski without a ski pass, but you just can't ski on the wrong boots. It is so hard. And even for me, and I have a pair of boots that are the wrong boots or my backcountry boots, and they're great for going uphill, but I go from a expert skier to an intermediate skier coming down the mountain in those boots.
Yeah.
And that may be you being an intermediate skier coming down the mountain as a beginner skier. And so how do you identify that? That's the hard part.
I think I'm very torn because 100% what you just said is how I feel is like, I need to upgrade my boots because mine are 90s and I think they're Rossignol.
And he's talking about the stiffness,
yes.
the flex rating.
And
which is way too soft for a guy your size.
For anybody.
which
I mean,
they were fine when I didn't ever have
Johnny
any
Peppers
kind of
would be fine in 90s.
Johnny Peps would be fine in 90s.
I was nowhere near incorrect form for the last 7 years, so I never felt the issues with them being 90s. I could tell that they were a little soft, but I was able to ski in them. And then now that I'm trying to be more forward in my boots and hold a more proper positioning, I can tell. I feel like they're about to snap in half sometimes.
Face plant.
And so I'm ready to upgrade. But the reason I say that I'm torn is because I bought not used but old skis that took me from not being very good to being way better than I was very quickly. And so I'm on the fence. I know that I'm the one that posed the question, but I'm on the fence between telling someone, if you don't know that your boots suck, you might want to get some skis. But if you know your boots suck, you better get boots.
Yeah, and I think that's good advice. And one thing before you just go buy new skis is get your skis tuned.
Yeah, totally.
Because we were skiing with somebody Well, I think it was Matt Demola that he said
Yeah.
how bad his skis were the day before, but he took them to the shop that night, and he's like, they're like new.
Totally.
I think it's a date issue. Like if your skis are I don't know, 2015, 2020, you might want to look into upgrading your skis.
Yeah,
They're so much lighter and they're completely the technology has advanced.
and what have
Here's the
what have
thing.
your skis been doing for 10 years? Being
Yeah.
skied on?
have you
They're
tuned-
probably
yeah. I upgraded to an unskied pair of 2015 skis.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah, but that was such a big upgrade.
it was. And that's what I mean is
And maybe the time range is much different, but I'm thinking.
No, I
you
got
know,
But I think that's where I was going is if there's a potential that if you're trying to get better and you don't see an issue with your boots, you can't tell what that issue is. You're like, well, what should I do? For me, I'm so glad I got new skis before I got new boots.
Yeah.
And now I know what's wrong with my boots and what I need for my next pair of boots, which I need for next season. But I understand I can go in and say, well, whenever I'm forward, I'm feeling them squished. They're not stiff enough. I'm an advanced skier now. I need a stiffer boot.
I'm gonna go with poles. Well, if you don't have a good pair of poles to whack, you got to get good at whacking your pole on the cornice so you can see over before you can drop in. You know,
Dylan?
I'm gonna go with 2 ACLs.
Nice. That's a good upgrade.
Yeah,
So I'm torn.
yeah, poles is ridiculous.
I think
Ryan gave me my poles, by the way, and I think poles are the least important thing you have, except for having the right size.
until
Yeah.
they snap in half, you don't need a new pair of poles,
Well, yeah, when
or they get all bent up. And,
when you break them or whatever, but if they're the right length or even close,
Yeah.
like his were a little long for me, but I didn't change them, and now it's my preferred length. But
Yeah.
I'd bet that you upgraded skis, noticed a difference. Awesome. You're going to upgrade boots and be like, how did I go this long without upgrading boots?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good point. Maybe the beginning of next year I'm going to be like, guys, don't get new skis, get new boots.
Yes.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see because I think boots just my personal experience of having two pairs of boots and one that I can ski
Yeah.
all out in and one that I can just get my way down the mountain in because of how soft they are.
Yeah. Well, so there you go. I mean, I think that honestly saying boots is probably the right thing because if you can find the right boots, it's going to be more comfortable. You'll have more control over your skis. And I probably would have been a better skier with better boots on the old skis.
Yeah. Okay. And so last thing on that, and I feel really strongly about this, is if you have old ski equipment, put it out there. You don't need 5 pairs of skis of all like front side skis.
Yeah.
Put it out there and help because I've given skis to a lot of people and they weren't their lifelong skis, but it got them started. And I've given boots to people. So if you have that stuff, put it out there. And if you don't have that stuff, ask around.
Yeah.
Like if somebody came to me today and said, I really need a pair of skis, I'll bet we could get them a pair of skis in the next day or two by just asking around because people like get emotionally attached to skis. So when you get a new camera, the other one's for sale, like once you put the order in.
Yeah.
But when you get a new pair of skis, you kind of just hang on to the old pair of skis. You never know. I might need them. But if somebody out there is not skiing because they don't have them, ask around.
100%.
Because Ryan's got like 6 pairs of skis and he doesn't even hardly ski.
you can have them.
He skis like a guy with no ACL.
You know what I do have though? It's the best poles.
He does have good poles. I have his backup poles. All right. So that wraps it up. Follow us on whatever,
just find us.
We're on
We're
Blue
there.
Sky now.
Blindly
Yeah.
follow us.
We're on Blue Sky, like mixed in with news channels.
Yeah.
But follow us, and if you're skiing in Colorado, let us know, and we'll come meet you or come to. I'll bet I'm pretty much Eldora out from here.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most hit and miss snow of any of the skiers in Colorado this time of year. But yeah, I'm probably Eldora out. Maybe Winter Park this weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe. So be safe. Wear a helmet. If you go in the backcountry, shovel,
Beacon probe.
beacon, probe, friend.
Whack your pole.
Friend.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And as always, remember, skis, boots, poles, pass, gloves.
That's what I
Pants.
tell
Helmet.
myself. Skis,
Pants.
boots, poles, pass, gloves.
Pants.
You can buy new pants, Ryan.
You don't have
That
to
was
buy
ski
new
strike.
pants. If you wear sweats under your pants, then you just ski in sweats that day.
Yeah, wear shorts that day. Anyway.
Anyway, good luck out there.